Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Sports Esports Podcast. We are not Support Esports Podcast anymore, we are League Review. But I'm your host, William, and this is the LCK podcast. Have I been doing Support Esports Podcast in the last few podcasts, maybe? I don't remember. That might just be natural instinct. That's my bad. We're League Review now. But LCK, pretty crazy this week. We went a solid 7-3 still though. Unfortunately, Griffin, like always, is letting me down on these really good weeks. Uh, and we have some. Hey, Brian. Brian says League Review Pog. Brian's pumped coming into this. But we went 7-3. We also went pretty good on the game predictions at 19-30 as well. So we're gonna get right into the match history, and then we'll go over power rankings, which is gonna be quite interesting to mix with my picks. I'll just say that for right now. First game is first series was KT versus Kingzone. KT started out this series pretty strong at with a victory, 8K victory in 32 minutes. Pretty much controlled the entire game too. They had an early pick for the first blood on BDD on the Azir, and that just kind of really stabilized Azir's laning phase and let him farm up enough to be relevant throughout the whole game. They also had complete control of the jungle with taking the Ocean Drake early and the Rift Herald, as well as the Mountain Drake, and then obviously, as you can tell, BDD started popping off with 3 kills on Azir by 15 minutes. By that point, you kind of know the game's already over, even if you're only down 1k gold, then you don't, I guess, know that at the time. But just having someone like the Azir be that scary that early, like being able to get into its final form, basically. And then, as you can see, every single objective except for one tower all went the side of KT. So this was just a complete blowout, especially with the final fight around Baron, where they got 4 kills for none, a Baron, 2 towers, and the inhibs and the Nexus, I should say. Next game though, Kingzone did come back, so KT unfortunately did not look anywhere as good compared to the first game. They that team disappeared. The same old KT came right back in. BDD on the Azir went 2-1 again. He got a kill early, but this time instead of getting first blood, did he get the first blood? No, he did not. He didn't get the first blood, and his kill came at the cost of 3 other kills for Kingzone, and they use that a lot more. Where BDD did get another kill by the 20-minute mark, it just wasn't enough, as Kingzone was the one in control of every dragon and every Rift Herald, and no Barons this game. They didn't need it though, because it was only a 31-minute game, 32-minute game basically, and they had so much pressure because Prey Callista needs to get going quickly. Did not. Defton. We've seen this before with Lucian Yumi. This is a very obnoxious bot lane, and it's winning quite a bit. We saw it in NA 2 times this week, and we also saw it with Karma. Karma just being obnoxious as always as well, and I like the Rascal on the Kennen as well, especially into Victor, because I don't like Victor top. I know it works sometimes, but I'm just not a fan of it. And then game number 2, this was also Kingzone. This one was not nearly as bad, as you can tell. This one was pretty close. It went 43 minutes, and 43-minute games usually mean it's anyone's game. Smeb, however, just was going 1-5. He wasn't doing too much. But you had BDD and Prey, I thought, popping out. How much were their damage, actually? 29k. I was going to say, okay, BDD had a very good series, by the way. And Nahon, though, had finally stepped it up and had his Orianna game with 1-0-13. Not a lot of kills, obviously, but he was part of a ton of assists. And though, actually, I'm looking now, he only had 16.1k, which looks really bad as 4th place, but he's only 100 off of a Akali. So it wasn't that bad. He basically tied for 3rd on the team with Yumi right up there with 17k as well. But yeah, this was the death show for sure. 34k on the Sivir, 3 and 4. Sivir is just a really good lane into Kai'Sa, because you can spell shield her W, and then you can also you can constantly push her out of lane, and you can throw the boomerang. Kai'Sa's range is so short that the boomerang is always always an option to kill for or early poke, along with Tucson. With the Yumi is also disgusting with the amount of poke you can do. So you just really bullied out Prey the entire game, and they didn't actually get any kills in laning phase. This game actually started really slow, and I mean it was only 16-9, but frankly there was only 2 kills until there's only 3 kills before the 20th minute mark, and that was one of those was on on Prey, but that was it, and that was through Rascal. But the rest was all back and forth, as you can tell. Sivir, this is where the momentum, pretty much the game was decided here. KT picked up a Baron and it was looking very promising for them. They just pick up the Baron and immediately with that Baron, like 2 minutes later or a minute 30 later, get almost ace. They lose. Oh no, they did get ace. Never mind. I thought only 4 of them died, but they lost all 5 Barons on that. And they just take a really bad team fight around. Like right around here, this is where they were all dead. These four deaths, and I believe this one as well. And it just took a really bad team fight around the Elder Drake. They just weren't set up in position whatsoever, and Kingzone capitalized on that, get an ace. Not only that, they get a Elder Dragon, and then they get a tower, and they have the ability to set up for a free Baron off of that, and then they were able to push for the Nexus or for the inhibs, get another ace, and then push towers and win the game. Next, we had SKT versus Hamo Life. This one, not too much to talk about. Hamo Life started out early with that Earth Drake on the Olaf, which is a good start. Olaf also didn't get any kills, and Olaf needs to start like producing kills early. The only kills Hamo Life got were 2 for 2 at the 15-minute mark, or that's a 14-minute mark. That's basically 15 minutes. And then they got 1 for 5, which is never a trade you want to make. 1 for 5 and the Baron and a tower around the Baron pit, and just like SKT just looking clean, which is it was very surprising how poor they were looking, and just how like it's like a switch flipped, which I guess isn't as surprising because it is SKT, but like they looked really bad to start this split, and ever since like the 2 weeks before Rift Rivals, or was it just a week before Rift Rivals, I think it was just a week before Rift Rivals, they've really turned around, looked good at Rift Rivals, and now they're looking good again this week. Because then, yeah, same thing. Game number 2, got the Earth Drake again. Good job, Bono, getting those early Earth Drakes, and that's all he's doing because for the rest of the game, they only got 2 kills and nothing else. Just let everything else go straight to SKT. Next was Sandbox Gaming versus Damwon Gaming. This one was stunning. Sandbox Gaming, I would have said, is like the best team in the LCK coming into this game. I picked Sandbox Gaming actually to win this game 2-1. I thought it'd be very close with Damwon because Damwon's also been playing out of their minds. It wasn't even close. We had the very fancy Yasuo Sejuani bot lane, and that bot lane just was amazing. It made me want to try it, and then I remember that neither me nor Brian that I know can play Yasuo or Sejuani, and I feel like we could pick up the Sejuani okay, but I feel like the Yasuo part might be a little more difficult. And but yeah, it was so good. Like just the quick autos from Yasuo and their melee autos as well into Sejuani passive for her stuns. Yeah. Oh, you're an OP Yasuo, Brian. Okay. we'll try it out in ranked. How about that? We'll do it in your solo queue. Yeah. Nuclear didn't get that 0-6 power spike. He went 7-1-11. He was doing it wrong. But yeah, it was like amazing to see just how much CC, because you would freeze them with the stun, and then you would use the tornado, and then either if he had his ult by that point, even if he didn't have his ult, you'd have the Sejuani charge in for the stun, and then you have Sejuani ult as well, while the whole time you have Yasuo wind wall to stop Ezreal and Yumi's poke. Like this was a really smart combo. And on top of that, when they're CCing Ezreal, that also means Yumi's CC'd, and Ezreal can't take too much damage from a Yasuo and Sejuani, the amount of CC and damage from Sejuani. So he'd blow up immediately. Yumi would blow up immediately after that, and the whole thing would not work out well at all. Like as you could tell, 7-1-11, 3-1-16, 1-5-2, 1-7-4. The 2-12 bot lane is never a good sight. On Fleek also had a very bad game at 1-6. And frankly, Nogri also was just dominant. While that was happening, Nogri was just, casually dominating Summit and on Fleek up atop with a 7-1-9 performance points on the Camille and just constantly split pushing and just being aggravating as can be for Sandbox because they couldn't do anything because Nagra was always on the sidelines split pushing, something NA doesn't like to think about. We just like to NA-ram it. And Showmaker, oh yeah, you also had Showmaker just casual 5-2 and 13 in the block as well, and Canyon 2-2 and 17. Just an all-around amazing game by Damwon against like one of the best teams in the world, not even just LCK, just in the world. And they followed that up with another very good performance. They never dropped the lead this entire series. Like they had both games of the series, they had the lead the entire time. They started out really clean early with Canyon getting a double kill up top lane by nearly at the 2-minute 10-second mark. What was that? No, 3-minute 39-second. I lied. Doesn't look. Does that look like 3 minutes 39 seconds to you guys? That's in between 2 and 4 minutes, by the way, if you can't see it well enough. Like, this is the 4-minute mark, this is the 2-minute mark, and this is 3:38.9. Riot needs to get their timelines together, apparently. But yeah, this was just from there. They did give up 2 kills with a kill on bot lane and a kill on in the top lane like simultaneously, so that was a little worrisome, but they did clean up that kill as well, so it wasn't just Nautilus got the kill on Ezreal, but then Canyon was able to come down bot with the help of Showmaker too, I believe, and take down the Nautilus, which is actually just a win because you don't have Nautilus getting 300 gold is a lot less worth it than Canyon getting 300 gold, and with that also the Ghost was also really hurt off of that play as well, so they were able to secure a Cloud Drake, which isn't too important, but it's still an objective on the map. And then pretty much from there, they won a good team fight here. Were able to get the Rift Herald off of it and get a tower with the Rift Herald, as well as another Cloud Drake. Again, not that important. And then finally, they had another huge team fight around the Infernal Drake. Absolutely killed everyone there. Picked up the Infernal, picked up the Baron right after that because there's only who was left on the team. It would have been Varus, yeah, Ghost. This was a crazy fight, by the way. This was started out amazing in Sandbox's favor, and Canyon actually died right here. This is where Canyon died, and he actually flashed over the wall. He just bought so much time with Kingslayer and Karma Shield, and I believe possibly Yuumi as well healing, but I think it was just Karma Shield, and he was just able to stay alive for just enough. And all of a sudden, Sandbox was kind of hurt. Immediate Ezreal ult into Jace empowered Shock Blast just popped. I believe 2 people, just 2 people. I don't remember the exact 2 people. I think it was Summit and Joker though on the front line, and they just popped immediately. And then all of a sudden, Showmaker with Karma ult just sped everyone up. They got in there. They got 2 more kills. Picked up the Infernal. Went over to the Baron. Picked that up and closed the game out from there. Next, we had Afrika versus Jin. Jin put up a fight a little bit in the first game. Not too much. They were in the lead, but like you knew. If you've seen enough Jin games, you knew where this one was going. They lose the team fight around Baron. They only had like a 1k gold lead with Olaf, Jace, Lucian. That's a super early game. I mean, they have Azir to like round out their late game, but like it's nothing compared to Sejuani late plus Camille late plus Nico late plus Xayah plus Yuumi. That's all outscaling everything over here except for maybe Nico to Azir. Nico probably doesn't outscale as hard, but it's not enough to compare to the other 4 outscaling their opponents. So only a 1k gold lead. It never felt like they were in full control. They only took 3 towers. It was only 1 tower to 1 tower at that point, right? No, 2 towers to 2 towers at that point, and it doesn't work out for Jin. I don't know why I bother watching Jin games still. Second game was pretty close. Like even though they only had the lead at one point, they did make Sandbox or Afrika fight for this one with 38-minute game. This was, however, more in my opinion, Afrika kind of throwing and not taking it. Maybe just like being way too aggressive and way too cocky, and as you can tell here, just like little pick here, a little pick there. They're just getting picked off slowly, but then once things settled down around the 36-minute mark, they were able to just clean up a team fight. Jin again, the cool thing that happened in this game is 2 times Malrong and Dread ulted each other at the same time with Skarner ult, and they just got stuck together. It's like if it's like the dragonflies or whatever when they're like mating or whatever, where they like the two tails are stuck together. They're just Skarner and or Silas just ulting each other at the exact same time, so neither of them got to do anything about it. It was really funny. And you had just everything went out scales again. Like types. No, no, not really, not too much, but they just poor execution on Jenner's part towards the end of the game. They just don't know how to end a game. They don't know how to play end late game team fights because they're usually so far out of it by that point. They don't get enough practice on it. I think honestly, so they lost again. Next, we had Gen G versus Griffin, and Gen G just flat out stomped Griffin with the spicy glacial comp with Sejuani and Volibear. They needed that glacial for that 20% stun, and they're like, all right, we just got to put Volibear support, and it worked really well with the Callista. Actually, the early game kill right here was just a Volibear flash, flip Viper over, and there was nothing Kai'Sa could do about it because she was short range, and it just was enough for Volibear to be able to get in there and get the first blood for Ruler, and then Ruler, which is so oppressive in the entire laning phase. I mean, they didn't get any other kills in the laning phase, but they just bullied out Viper, obviously, as they went 0-6 on the bot lane on Griffin's side. And just pretty much, even these team fights, as you can tell, this was a 5-for-3. This one was pretty close, but they also got the Infernal and a tower off of it, so like they were just doing amazing. Kuve also was just dominating Sword with Sword's early game poke on Karma, just did not match up to anything good necessarily. Like, it didn't, as you can tell, didn't get any kills on Cuvée, and it only got one tower. I don't even think they got the top tower. Yeah, they did get the top tower 22 minutes. But that's it. Like, that poke needs to be shutting down Cuvée a lot harder than that. Peanut also played very well as well on Gen G. We don't say that too often anymore. And Fly had an okay Lux game. He was hitting some bindings. He went 0-13. No kills, no deaths. But like, so I guess that part was good. But he was definitely more of the team, in my opinion, helping him out there. Next was Genji winning again, but this one, what a throw by Griffin here. Like, it doesn't look like it too much. It does look like it, sorry. I was going to say, because we're sitting here, close game. Uh, Genji takes up a solid, I mean, a 2.3k gold lead at 30 minutes. Not too much. Griffin wins the fight. They get the Baron. 3 kills, 2 kills. Not only that, they get a tower. They get 3 more kills for none. An Elder Drake, an Inhib, um, what was it? An Inhib, 2 more towers, a Baron. They lose 1 kill for it, but then they take 2 more towers, another Inhib, and then they just kind of die. They kind of just get triple killed by, or not by Viper. Viper got the triple kill there, but they just all died here. 1, 2, 3, and then Peanut was able to. They just took the Nexus right out from under them. It should not have happened. It wasn't. I shouldn't say it was like right out from under them, but they just lost their team fight. They just kind of pushed a little too far, got caught, died, and then whoops, Genji's just gonna ran it up mid or ran it up to their. Did they? I don't even know. I think they teleported more so, but yeah, it just Genji just pulled this game. They were down 3k gold when they won after they like won the final team fight. But it was like 4.9k gold lead at 44 minutes after like getting an Elder Drake and a Baron, your second Baron. It just was not good at all, and it wasn't the last time Griffin would throw in a game 2 this week. Game or series, this series, I don't even know what series we're on, but this was SKT versus KT. This one was actually, let's just look. This is series number 6, and this one was how most SKT versus KT series go. CLG was able to beat TSM and break their curse, so everyone thought maybe KT can do the same for SKT. They couldn't. They got destroyed. 11-1, as you can tell. They got a Rift Herald and a few. They did get 4 towers, which is better than what most teams get when they're getting crushed like this. But they only got 1 kill. Like, literally 1 kill in the entire game. So there's tons of shutdown gold all over there. They were never able to capitalize on that whatsoever. And even their 1 kill, they gave up a tower for as well. So it wasn't that big of a loss for SKT in the first place. Game two, pretty much the same situation where they did get 5 kills this time, but they only got 1 tower, which is probably worse off gold wise than 4 towers and 1 kill. I don't know. Actually, that might be about the same. But this one actually looked even worse in my opinion because at least they were getting towers on the other side. This one they had no control of the entire map, the entire game. The only tower they got in was at about 11 minutes, and that was the bot tower with when they got the kill on Effort and Teddy. They were able to kill both of them, get the tower, which was good. But then after that point, they also gave up 3 towers for that. They gave up a mid tower and 2 top towers for that one bot tower and the 2 kills on bot lane. So that also isn't going to help you too much in that situation. And again, SKT is on a roll right now. They're crushing it, and I believe they won 5 in a row series. SKT's won 4 in a row, 4 series in a row. So they won their first 2 series right before Rift Rivals. They looked really good at Rift Rivals, and now they're 2-0 after Rift Rivals. KT Rolster, by the way, 0-6 in the last 6 games or series. So that's also a big issue that hopefully CLG does not follow. This one, Jin Air versus Sandbox. It's just you know. 3 Infernal. Look at where Jin Air finally gets a kill for 2 kills. They give up 2 kills in a mountain for the 1 kill they got. Cool. They get 1 kill, but then give up the Baron and 3 kills before then. And then they get another kill, but give up 4 kills and 2 towers and 6 towers and a 5th kill and a Ninhib and a Nexus. So, yeah, that's kind of how Jin Air games go. I don't like talking about Jin Air games. Oh, this one was actually pretty close. Like I will say, their game twos this week were pretty close. They're showing that they have a possibility to win a game. They just don't know how to end a game at all. Like at all. They had a lot of early advantages this game with the Ocean Drake. The very early Ocean Drake is always very nice to have. And then you got the Rift Herald early, and then you got another Ocean. They had 2 Ocean Drakes by about the 12-13 minute mark, and because apparently I don't know if that's at 13 minutes, even though it's sitting right there. But they had a lot of sustain early, and that was beautiful for Ezreal, Morgana, Karma. That's tons of. They can just shoot all the poke in the world that they want. However, they were shooting all the poke, and they were taking, as you can see, kill here, kill here. They were getting dragons. They got a dragon, I believe. On Fleek stole that. Was it the Mountain Drake they stole? The Ocean Drake. He stole one of these, and then because he also stole the Elder as well. And I don't know if it was necessarily steal at the Elder, but it was more so like just like Jin Air still had a really good shot at that point, and then they gave up the Elder to Sandbox, and then they decided the good idea is to try and escape, but then like kind of fight at the same time. One of those situations, and this is where all the deaths are from attempting that, and that put them at a solid 4K deficit, and they immediately lost the game after that. Next, we had Damwon Gaming versus Kingzone, and this was a hell of a good series. I will tell you, this is what I was expecting the Sandbox series to look like. Unfortunately, I was expecting like a lot more from Sandbox, but in the game number 1, after Damwon destroyed Sandbox for 2 games in a row, they come in and destroy Kingzone actually in game number 1. Nogre's Vlad was disgusting. 36k damage, absurd. Showmaker on the Corki, absurd damage. Like 36-minute Vlad. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 item Corki. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 item Vlad. Well, let's full build Vlad actually. Full build Vlad. 1 item away from full build Corki. If you played against either of those champions late game, it's not fun. Nahon was trying with his he was trying his best with some pretty good Orianna ults, especially around the base, and that actually, as you can see like right here, all these little kills, Orianna, and then that was Aurelia, but I believe it might have been set up from Orianna. Like this was all Nahon setting him up. This actually was Def right here, making a really game-saving at the time play to kill 3 people and actually slow down Damwon, but it wasn't enough. As you can see, Damwon just cruised to victory here after it all pretty much started around the 15-16 minute mark with an ace at the Elder or the Mountain Drake, and then multiple towers after that. But Damwon looks clean. Not I won't say they didn't look super clean in this game. This game was only 25 minutes. It was kind of a blowout. It wasn't a blowout, but it was kind of quick. But it was one of those games where it's like I don't know if you ever had one of those. You've had to have had those games where the game's like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and all of a sudden you just lose. That happened with Kingzone being able to take the Baron here and secure 4 kills. I believe it was 5 kills in the Baron. It took 2 kills, went on to the Baron, got 3 kills after that. Just took an Ocean Drake and bunch 3 towers, and then another kill, then aced him again, and then just ended the game off of that. And then like that, it was just like they didn't technically ace him. Barrel was in the base dancing on as Braum at the end, but that all these kills right here was off of an amazing Naeun just Azir. Oh my God, Sharima shuffle. I was gonna say truffle shuffle. Oh my God, that's not. Amazing Sharima shuffle that just pushed 3 people out from under the Nexus tower right there, or inhib tower, and just pop Showmaker, who was playing really well, get nuclear out, and I believe Nogri also died there. If that, and then the other one died right here, trying to escape. It was a really good performance by Nahon there. Even though he went 1, 2, 2 and 5, that was a game-changing ult. Game number 3, though, Kingzone was able to win again. I was about to say come back, but it was with Rek'Sai versus Jarvan, and we don't count that anymore though, because it's been much better this split. It's been 50-50 more so, and Showmaker just wasn't able to get there with the Damwon with the Corki, but we saw Death's Jinx, one of the most exciting things to watch. Death's Jinx just pops off. He got first blood early on the Alistair right there, and he just from there on, Jinx was comfortable enough to be scaling, and Jinx scaling, especially on someone like Death playing it, is just amazing. They Baron danced properly. They got the kill. They got the pick on Nogri on the Karma. Excuse me. They took the Baron, took the dragon, took 2 towers, and then like just as you can tell, took another 3 towers and just wiped the floor. He went 1-1-4, but I feel like what was his damage? Yeah, 8. He had the most damage in the game, 19k damage, only 1 kill. It's kind of crazy, but he played it really well. I'm actually stunned. I did not realize he only had 1 kill because I thought he was like hard carrying, which he was, but it just the stat line doesn't show that necessarily about how much Death was dominating this game. Next was a Freak of Freaks versus Griffin, and a Freak of Freaks coming out really good in game number 1. So this was their 3rd victory in a row after their break and after they were struggling a bit coming into the break. And Keen I mean Griffin just looked lost, to be honest. Chovy's Callan didn't look anything special. Tarzan seemed to be tilted when he was playing on the Karthus. He kept like going in and like going in and dying, but like you could do some damage before you go in and die. I feel like the even like at the very end of the game, Tarzan like flashed in and like killed himself, but like to try and clear the wave. But then another wave just immediately came after that. It's like if you kind of like tried to attempt to clear the wave before dying there, it would have like helped a little bit better. And the whole thing did not. I didn't like Griffin on the Karthus pick. I don't think it was too great. I think it won like 1 game, I believe, but it didn't win. It lost more than it won this week, and they didn't look very comfortable on that or the Talon. And Sword also just playing on the carries is struggling a little bit compared to his comfort on the tanks. Next game, though, as I say that, Sword actually played a really good game of Jace. He went 4-3 and 8, but he started the game amazing. At 1, 2, 3, he had 3 kills before 9 minutes, and like after that, he was starting to die. He was getting killed in the side wave a little bit by Keen, or if in team fights, he was also dying as well. I believe he died 2 times because he died. Where did he die? He died there, when he went over aggressive and got killed. But oh no, he didn't go over. Yeah, he was under tower, and Sejuani actually came under tower. It was a really clever play by Dread, but I didn't think it was worth too much. Where she like dived in, killed a minion with it, hit level 6, and was able to stun him immediately, so he died on tower. But she also died for that, so it wasn't that great of a play. But yeah, you had Chovy on the Akali. He's one of the champions he's the most comfortable on, popping off at 4-1 and 6. You had Viper on Zaya at 6-2 and 4, and just all around pretty good, except for a little team fight, a little shaky there with Griffin and Afrika, where they gave up 4 kills, but they were able to take the Baron because Afrika, oof, man, was this the game that Afrika? Yeah, this is the one they like threw. They got 4 kills, and then they would go into Baron, then they stopped that Baron, then they went back on Baron and just leashed the Baron for the Griffin pretty much. And it was a boneheaded play by Afrika Freaks, and I do not know what they were trying to do there in that moment. Next game though, they did come out victorious. They put Sword on Aatrox again, and unfortunately, he did not look that great again on the Aatrox. Keen looked really good on the Jace, and I love Dread's Elise. Dread's Elise is pretty nasty, and unfortunately for Griffin, this was an 0-2 week, the exact same week 6, where they went 0-2 to Genji and Afrika last split as well. So it's kind of weird how that worked out in that sense, because was it even the same like games, like 2-1 and 2-0? I'll have to check that, but I'll check that super quick on here, because if you can see here, spring split week 6, Griffin lost. Nope, week 7 was it? Oh, I don't know. Week 5. That's why we're nope. Never mind. They lost at one point to Afrika Freaks and Genji, and I'm trying to find it, and it makes me mad. There's lost to Kingzone. One more week. Oh, here we go. It was week 8. I thought it was the same week, but it was not. It's week 8. They lost 2-0 to Genji and 2-1 to Freaks. So yes, it was the exact same. I was gonna say, I swear I saw that on Reddit as well. Not that I just like looked that up. But yes, I thought it was week 6, but it's week 8. And unfortunately, it took me forever to find week 8. But yes, it was just the exact same scenario. I'm a little worried about Griffin. You'll see my power rankings from my reasoning, but I don't know. Their style's not working right now too much. They could easily be fine. They could recover because they are a good team, and people flame them a little too much, I think. But yeah, I dropped them. It was a weird situation that I'll explain in power rankings. And finally, Genji. I stole this from Reddit, but Genji showing that even in a fast meta, they can delay a game for as long as possible. First game took 49 minutes to beat Hanwha Life, who's not a good team at all. Just a very, very, very slow. Even when they took advantage at the 36-minute mark, it still took them another 13 minutes to end the game with 3, count them, 3 Barons. Like that is. It took so long. I believe this one was stolen. This one at the very end of the game. The only reason they ended the game, to be honest, was because Peanut stole the Baron, and while Kuve was split pushing on bot lane, and then all of a sudden he had the Baron buff in hands, and then I believe Ruler also was able to teleport in right after that, and they were able to push the bot lane out and get a quick kill on Sangyun and Lava, who also teleported in. They got both of them, and they were able to take the Nexus after that. But that's the only reason they ended the game in 49 minutes is because Peanut stole the Baron. Like if it wasn't for that, this game could have gone like 55 minutes, because all we know, Hanwha Life wouldn't have been able to do too much with that Baron. They had 7 towers, but I don't like just the amount of delay that they could have done on Gen G's side, which you'll see in the next game. It's just absurd. Because next game was 9-7 in Gen G's favor. This one was only 33 minutes at least, and they did have the lead for the most part. But it just felt like Hanwha always had a shot in this one. I think it was mostly because they had the Gangplank and the Azir, so like that constant scaling. However, the Gen G's Fly and Kuve also had a ton of scaling on their side. And Peanut on Sejuani, it is the weirdest thing that we are now okay with Peanut on Sejuani duty like 2 years ago. Peanut and Sejuani Duna is terrible, and we want to see him on Lee Sin. Now I never want to see him on Lee Sin. I only want to see him on Sejuani. And he looked pretty good again. He did not look good last split on it, but this split he's looking pretty good again on Sejuani. And Gen G's actually back up after they were up, and then they crashed down right before Rift Rivals, and now they're kind of back up again. So with that, let's go into our power rankings for this week. First up, I have Kingzone as the number one team as they defeated Damwon Gaming. And they also took down KT, but that was pretty easy. So Kingzone moves all the way up from Kingzone was number 4. I've shot them up all the way to number 1 because they beat Damwon, and it felt unfair to put Damwon ahead of them in that situation. I think that my dog wants in my room. But so it was a weird situation like that. Do you want in or not? Okay, she didn't want in. She just wanted to scratch the door. But Kingzone was looking. They look very good right now, and obviously, I believe I didn't update the standings. Oh no, let's do LCK 2019 summer. LCK summer. And so the standings currently are Sandbox in first place at 8-2, Griffin 7-3 with that 2-game losing streak now, Damwon 7-3, and Kingzone 7-3. So even though they're tied for third, or tied for second, I should say, at 7-3, I think that they are currently the number one team because of their victory over Damwon and just all around looking really, really good at the moment. Damwon Gaming is also number 2 in the standings right now because they beat Sandbox Gaming and they beat them bad. They also took a game off of Kingzone, which was in a very skilled, very close best of 3, definitely game of the week at the time. And with that, they just look clean. Like they don't look like solo queue players anymore. They look like a real team at the moment, and they honestly could have easily won that Kingzone series as well. They dominated the first game, they lost the next 2, but the way they dominated Kingzone in the game 1 and dominated Sandbox in both games that they played, that put them at a much higher standing in my list compared to what I would have said like 2 weeks ago with Damwon. Sandbox, unfortunately, because of that, has dropped to number 3, which was unfortunate. And then this is where it gets interesting because they did clean up Jin. They just did not perform at all against Damwon Gaming whatsoever, which is worrisome because Sandbox last split kind of looked pretty bad towards the better teams in the league towards the end of the split, so we'll see that if that trend continues. And then at the time when I was doing these power rankings, I had Griffin number 4. And then I realized like I gotta move SKT up because SKT beat KT and they beat Hanwha, which is okay. Nothing special there, but they dominated both games. It was a 4-0 week, like, and Griffin went 1-4, and KT went 4-0. So they got, I think, or SKT, sorry, went 4-0. And I'm like, okay, that deserves, like, Griffin deserves number 5. And then number 6 in my power rankings was Afrika. And I'm like, well, Afrika went 4-1 this week with a victory over Griffin. So I'm like, yeah, man, I guess Afrika kind of deserves it over Griffin right now. They look better than Griffin does, and they look pretty clean because Griffin lost to 2 pretty mediocre teams. So I dropped them again. Dropped them number 6. Number 7 was Gen G. Gen G is coming off a 2-0 win against Griffin where they stomped them, and a 2-0 victory over Hanwha Life, and I'm like, well, shit. Griffin is dropping all the way to number 7 in my power rankings this week, which should be week 6. I just noticed. But I was just like, unbelievable. That I never thought I would drop Griffin all the way to number 7. I think you can argue that. I don't know if you can argue, though, because they did lose. Maybe Afrika, maybe. But they got destroyed to Gen G, and they got beat decently bad to Afrika as well. And SKT's been on the rise with a 4-game win streak now, and we've seen their former defending champions and their SKT in general, so they get a lot of extra bonus points in that sense. Where like the rest of the teams, like I think Damwon and Kingzone are better teams than them as a whole. But yeah, it was very weird to think that I currently think Griffin is the 7th best team in the league. And then obviously KT, Hanwha Life, and Jin, 3 worst teams in the league by a very good margin. 2-8, 2-8, and 0-10 with a 2-20 record, a 6-16 record, and 7-17 record in games. So I think those are fine. But I thought that was very interesting. So with that, let's go to our predictions for this week. It's been a decently long podcast, actually, for just a solo podcast. We're almost up to 40 minutes. We're doing long podcasts now, apparently. uh, this game number one, as we can scroll down here to show, is Sandbox versus Gen G. Gen G coming off a 2-0 week. Sandbox coming off of a 1-1 week with a very embarrassing, or not necessarily embarrassing, but very humiliating, or that's humbling is the word I'm looking for. Not like embarrassing. No, humiliating. That's also not the right word at all. But yeah, humbling loss to Damwon Gaming, and then a win against Jin doesn't really make you feel much better. But I don't know. This Gen G team, do they think it's gauntlet yet? I don't know. They're 6-4, 13-10 on the year, much better than last split by far, I would say. Still currently out of the playoffs, or tied with Afrika for the last spot of the playoffs, which is kind of crazy. I think that they are out of the playoffs and they're only one game out of second place. So this got really tight. And SKT is also 2 games out of the playoffs, even though I have them in fourth. And that's the weird thing. I have them fourth in my power rankings. I have them seventh, even though they're currently tied for second place. That's how flip-floppy the LCK is at the moment. But with that being said, I do think Sandbox is going to recover against Gen G. I'm not as worried about Sandbox against Gen G as I am them against teams like Damwon again, or Kingzone, or even possibly Griffin and SKT. I think those are the teams that they have to watch out for more so. I think that Gen G and Afrika have been a little more inconsistent, even though they are currently, as I say that, Afrika's in the second highest winning streak in the league at the moment, and only 3. So there's not many high winning streaks at the moment in the league. But I think they've been a little more inconsistent this year. And with that, I'm picking Sandbox to win in a 2-1, closer series than I would have predicted before. Next, we have Kingzone versus Hanwha Life. Should be a very easy series for Kingzone. Hanwha Life is terrible this split. If it wasn't for Jinair, who are Hanwha Life's wins? Jinair and KT. Exactly. Hanwha Life has always been that team that can never beat the teams above them, and unfortunately KT is tied with them, but then Jinair is not above them at all, so it should be an easy 2-0 for Kingzone there. Next, we have SKT versus Jinair. Wow. SKT is on a hot streak. Jinair still has only won 5 games since 2019 has started, not counting promotions. So, 2-20, 2-20 on the split. Great. They did take a game off SKT and should have beat SKT in week 1, but this is a much different SKT game or team than in week 1, and Jin Air still looks like Jin Air, so they haven't changed too much. So I think this should be an easy 2-0 for SKT this time around. Whew. Man, these are some bad games to watch. Let me tell you to start this week. When I was looking at these before, I was almost debating putting all of them at 2-0. Afrika versus KT. KT is also terrible. It's essentially when you have 3 teams that are way outclassed by all the other teams, there's going to be a lot of games that are kind of one-sided. TFT Brian asked, oh, that's not important for the podcast. Brian just asked me if TFT's out there. I'm like, maybe Brian. Maybe just one game though. But yeah, I think we'll do Afrika over KT 2-0. That one, again, Afrika's coming in off a 3-game win streak. I'm still a little worried about them for their consistency situation, but it shouldn't matter, and they should be able to wrap up KT just fine. Now we get to some decent games. Griffin versus Damwon Gaming should be pretty good, and you're going to have to hear me out here. You know what's going to happen when I say that. I'm picking Griffin, and not only am I picking Griffin, I'm picking Griffin the 2-0 Damwon Gaming. Like, you're like, William, absurd. And I would agree. But on most days, I would agree with that, because Griffin has looked terrible this week. Damwon Gaming looks like a potential top 5 team in the world. So, why would I pick Griffin? I actually did the research right before the podcast. That's why podcast was going to start at 10:30, but started at like 10:40 because of that. I did the research. Damwon Gaming has not won a game let alone a series, a game, since 2000 July 14th, 2017, in Korean Challenger against Griffin. Their last two splits before that, in Korean Challenger, they went 0-2, 0-2, and then 0-2, 0-2, and then they didn't play Summer Split because they were still in Challenger in Korea at Summer Split 2018 because they were still in Challenger in Korea. Or Griffin went to LCK obviously, and then Damwon made it in 2019 a Spring Split. They went 0-2 and 0-2 in there, and then Summer Split so far this year. They play each other again and they went 0-2 again. They are currently in the last 10 games against Griffin 0-10. So I'm writing on that, and I think that Griffin is like, if this was stocks, you can buy Griffin pretty well right now. I think personally, I think they're on a really low while a lot of teams are high. As I argued that Griffin is the seventh best team in Korea right now. Even while saying that and saying Damwon's number 2 and possibly number 1, I still think this is the upset I am willing to take because Damwon has not won a single game in the last 10 games they played against Griffin. And it's been over just barely, but it's been 2 years and 2 days since the last time they won a game against Griffin. And I think Griffin just has their number. So with that, that's my upset. That's my upset this week. It's weird saying that Griffin is an upset, but it's a legitimate upset. Next game is Kingzone versus Gen G. I think that Kingzone should be totally fine against Gen G. I see Kingzone as one of the top 5 teams in the world. Gen G, they'll. I don't. Kuve's playing out of his mind right now. He might be able to take down Rascal just fine, but just looking through the Peanut versus Cuz, then that's kind of up in the air. I think Fly loses to Nahon too hard, and Death and Tucson just take down. Oh well, you got Ruler. It's gonna be Death versus Ruler. It's really gonna depend on. I'm gonna go Kingzone, but it's gonna be another 2-1 loss for Gen G, unfortunately for them. But I think it's gonna really come down to who can carry harder between Deft and Ruler. And I've seen better performances out of Ruler. Granted, he has a little bit better teammates, but I really think that's what it's gonna come down to. And I don't think that Gen G has in them to be able to help Ruler with his carries for at least 2 games, maybe 1, but I don't see 2. Next, we have Frika versus Jinair. Frika, as of what I'm seeing here, with a game against KT and against Jinair, that would put them. They should easily be on a 5-game winning streak and shooting all the way up to 8-4 after being 3-4, coming into Rift Rivals. So that is a very, very good situation. Also, Korea doesn't start until Thursdays, by the way. So there's only 8 games a week, I believe, for the rest of the season. Because we only have one more. I tell you that as I didn't update my thing for that. And total. But finally, let's wrap it up with series number 8, Hanwha Life versus Sandbox Gaming. You know how this one's going to end. Sandbox Gaming with a clean 2-0. Hanwha Life cannot handle teams ahead of them whatsoever. So having them face the number 1 team when they're the number 9 team, it's not going to work out too well for them in that sense. So that is going to be week 6. It's only 8 series now. We are currently 31-19 in Korea. So we are on the up. We're at 62%. Had a little bit of a rough start at 50%, but back 7-3 weeks. So our predictions are looking better. All around our predictions are looking better. I haven't seen the wildcard game yet, so I can't necessarily say that for a fact. But outside of that will be our podcast today. Thank you guys for coming to watch. Tomorrow we'll be doing the LMS, and LMS is Wednesday, yes. And then Thursday we'll be doing the LEC, and then Friday we'll be doing the Wildcard podcast. And then that will be the podcast for the week. Thank you guys for coming to watch, and we will see you tomorrow for LMS, where the Flash Wolves still suck. Good night.